G'day people, welcome back. Another day, another video. In the last episode, we got the adapter plate made and the motor mounted to the transmission and spinning the axle drive shafts. Now, in this episode, we're going to reinstall the transmission and install the motor in the car. So let's go and see what we can do. I have everything in place so that I can put the transmission in, and that won't interfere with any of the other things I've got to do, wires I've got to run and bits and pieces. But anyway, let's go and do it. I'm ready now to install the motor, the electric motor here. I've installed the transmission back in the car. I've connected up the drive shafts and the shock absorbers and all the suspension, and I've connected the clutch and the gear changing mechanism and all of that at the front of the transmission, and so it's ready for the electric motor. The way the engine and the transmission were mounted in the original car, the engine actually sat there and has another support which comes off this kind of tailgate which sits in here, and I'll do the same with the electric motor, but as a result when that's not there, the transmission has a tendency to sag down, so I've had to put a support in here to hold the transmission up. Once I've got the electric motor in, I'll be able to suspend that until I figure out the mounting of the motor. But anyway, so the next thing to do is bring the motor over, but before I do that, I'm just going to weigh it because getting the total weight and the weight distribution is pretty important. I weighed the original motor and all the other peripheral bits that I've taken off the car, so I'm going to weigh all of the bits as they go in as well, and just so I can compare the final total weight. This thing weighs a lot. Alright, what does that weigh? 48, you can see there, 48 kilograms, 48 kilograms.
And the original motor weighed 64, so I'm well within the limit.
Okay, came up with a much better arrangement. I forgot that I had an overhead hoist. So I have now got that well and truly secured. I can take all of these away. Because the transmission and the motor are now supported here and firmly underneath there. Okay, well, I hooked it up and I spun it and the wheels didn't seem to turn, and I thought, oh yeah, have I got the clutch misaligned or something like that? and then I realised that the car was not in gear. So I went and put it into gear, and now when I spin the engine by hand, the wheels turn. I'll show you if I can. Come down here. Not sure if you can see that, but as I spin that, you can see the wheels are turning. That one isn't, but that's because of the differential. In fact, if I hold the wheel, then the other one starts to turn. It's a little bit stiffer on this side, but that's just the differential, and I suspect that will free up as time goes on once the car starts driving. So, theoretically, it works. Now that I've got the motor actually in and connected to the transmission, I needed to support the back of it. I had it supported temporarily on this, but what I've done is I've fabricated this beam which goes across here and connects to the structure of the car. These brackets here hold the bumper bar, and so I've just fabricated this to fit between those two mounting points. And if I drop down and show you what I've done here, I've created this mounting point at the back of the engine here with these two rubber torsion blocks. So that supports the back of the motor and also provides a little bit of flex when the motor kicks in. And I've got a bunch of things that I need to mount in here now. So I'm just playing around with options here. The Kelly controller, and I'm thinking that could sit in here somewhere like that there. So that would work there. The Kelly controller actually comes with a cooling system. It's got a cooling plate underneath and a little coolant pump and a radiator. So I think I can fit that in. The radiator I can kind of fit in here somewhere. There. Gotta have a little. I might have to move the whole thing over a bit because it's going to have needs a little bit of airflow around it. And the pump could sit somewhere back there. I think that'll work. And I think I can get the TC charger to mount in here somewhere like that, which means there's a relatively short run up to here, which is where I'm going to put the 240 volt plug for charging. And one of the things I'm trying to do is to make sure I keep everything low, because if I decide to put the battery in here, I think I can make the battery work in there, which means cutting this plate out. But of course I need about 150 millimeters, so I want to make sure everything's lower than that, so if the battery's sitting in there, it's not interfering with anything else I'm mounting. So that's my next job, is to fabricate up all of these frames and brackets and things to mount all of this. And once I've done that, I should be able to actually temporarily wire it up and just see if the motor actually does drive the wheels. So exciting milestone. So yeah, just to explain what I've done and how it's all going to work. So I've made this frame up. I did it kind of iteratively by placing things and working out how it's going to go, but this will bolt into the car. The motor sits under here. This bolts in here, like in there. It has to be mounted upright, and obviously it needs airflow around it, so that will bolt in there. The battery sits in this little pocket there. In fact, I've got a little rubber bed that sits on there. Battery will sit in there, and then that bolts down over the top there like that. Motor controller bolts in here like that, and the wires go across to there. So the radiator will bolt in here like that, and the little pump will bolt onto there like that, and then I've got the pipes which I'll fit. I think that's it for now. So I think I can go ahead and install all of this. So there we are. That's everything installed. It's all pretty solid. I think these can be connected up here, no problems. And I can wire in the plumbing at the back there. I'm hoping that I won't need to uninstall any of this when I discover that I've got to do something else in there. But I'm hoping I might be able to use this cooling system to also cool the batteries. I'm not sure whether it's got that capacity, but given that I've got the radiator and the pump, I may be able to integrate a cooling system for the batteries as well, but I'll see when I've got the batteries installed and what kind of battery cooling plates are available online. I think I'm going to now hook it all up and just test it to see whether the motor will drive the wheels okay. Theoretically, if I put this on and start to start it turning, go backwards. Yes, it's going forward. So that kind of rocking noise is actually the differential spinning, because the friction in the left side hub is much higher than the friction in the right side hub, and so the right side is spinning and the left side isn't, and instead the differential is spinning inside the transmission case, which is what's making that knocking noise. It's obviously not designed to drive like that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lubricate and fix up the bearings and make sure that they're all running nicely. And I think also when it's got the load of the car on it, it will smooth out a lot of those kind of those noises. And anyway, overall, it seems to be working.